short clip by Bishop Dag Heward-Mills Ministries. Discover how God can change your life forever.
Length and depth and breadth and height, all right, and comprehend and to know the love of Christ. You see, when you know the length and depth and breadth and height, then you begin to know the love of Christ more. You begin to see the love. I tell you, when you begin to see love, like somebody went to work with Kenneth Hagin or Kenneth Copeland, and they interviewed him, said, "You work with these great men of faith. What did you learn when you worked with them closely for 7 years?" So I didn't learn anything about faith. So what did you learn? So I learned about love. When you come, many of you don't see love because your eyes are not yet tuned to see love. He says that you may know the love of Christ, which surpasses knowledge. Love is far greater than anything you know. And then you may be filled. You are the one who is looking for filling with the fullness of Christ, which is the anointing. You are filled with the fullness of God. You begin to be filled. That's when the filling. And the Lord is the Spirit. So it's the anointing. You begin to be filled. I tell you, from my personal experience, I see that when I watch Benny Hinn, recently I was watching him preaching. When he mentions Catherine Kuma, he just has a certain, he becomes happy. It's like you can easily say she's his girlfriend. God forbid, and all these bad words, are just not things that we should even think about. But what I'm saying is, this probably is the closest I could liken it to, that he has a certain fondness for her, and a certain understanding of what she says, which no, but because me, I have a book, I've not read even one page that can even enter my brain. I can't understand anything that she's saying. But Benny Hinn can understand. He said that she is his pastor. And there's nobody who can pastor him apart from Oral Roberts, and Oral Roberts is about to die. And so when he dies, the only thing he has is Catherine Kuhlman's tape. When he needs advice or he needs revelation or refreshing, he plays her tapes because that's what ministers to him. Yeah. And he has a certain fondness. That's the best I can. And you can even, as I watch, you see, sometimes that's why video is also important. As I watch, you never see it on an audio tape. You see that fondness. Because the love makes you see. And he loved her and he saw. And as he saw, he loved more. And then he became filled. But others were there. He said everybody was asleep in the congregation. But he was. And when the anointing came, she saw that she knew when the anointing came. And he would wake his guy and say, "Look, something's about to happen now." So he was seeing, he was loving. Now as he loves and he sees then the insides. You see, then you can see this is what's going to happen. This is what the person is doing. This is why the person is doing. Then as you see the length and depth and the breadth, you love it more. Then as you love more, you begin to be filled. That's why people don't get filled. They don't see, they don't love, they don't see more, and they don't love more. And they see everything else, and they don't see the anointing, and they don't see the Spirit. Yeah. I don't want to tell you what my friends told me in the message. But what my friend told me is in the message, and I won't bother to tell you. But I tell you, that is why. Because some of us are here, we love money. We don't love God. We don't love anointing. We love our job. We want to go higher in our jobs. We love things in the world. We love praises of men. We don't love God. We don't love Christ. Why should he come and fill you with the fullness? You'll be filled with the fullness of administration. And you'll be filled with the fullness of education. And you'll be filled with the fullness of letters. And you'll be filled with the fullness of worldly praises. You'll be filled with the fullness of praises and accolades from human bosses. You'll be filled with the fullness of promotion on this earth. That's what you'll be filled with, but not with the fullness of Christ and his power. Because that's not what you love. You know the ins and outs of your job. What this person earns. He's on number 2B. He's on level 3AC. he's on level 4. When you're on level 8, you get this. And when you're on level 7, you get this. And if you're on level 6, you can have this. So I'm now on level 3A, and I'm hoping to become level 3B by December. When I'm at level 3B, I'll move to 4A, level 4A by October next year. And by that time, I'll have a child and I'll get married. By that time, I'll move to level 5A. When I'm at level 5A, I can get a housing loan or a car loan to be this and that. And by that time, I may be transferred to be a manager of this and that, from which I will jump from level 5A to level 8C. Hey, your mind, you know the details. Me, when I was working at Korle-bu, I didn't know what I was. I didn't know where I can go, what can happen to me. I didn't know whether principal medical officer, chief medical officer, director of medical services. I didn't know what was there. All I was counting was the number of leave days in the year. 28 working days. How to arrange the working day leave to coincide with Easter, Christmas, and others, so that the 28 becomes very long. That's all I knew. How to calculate leave. How to calculate to get away, to free myself. Mercy. I finished preaching. But I'll show you something from Songs of Solomon. How many want some love from the songs? Do you enjoy the Songs of Solomon? Wow. We were in chapter 6, I believe, the last time. All right. Now, you see, when you love, you begin to see in verse 4.